Good evening, and welcome to this special extended news bulletin, where we bring you the latest on a major story that has shocked KwaZulu-Natal and raised serious questions about road safety on one of South Africa's busiest transport corridors. A devastating multi-vehicle crash unfolded this morning on the N3 near Hammarsdale, involving close to 20 vehicles, including a large truck. 17 people have been reported injured, some critically, and the chaos on the highway has led to widespread disruption, fear, and frustration for motorists and residents. The incident has also resulted in the arrest of a Zambian truck driver, who, according to witnesses and authorities, attempted to flee the scene shortly after the accident. Tonight, we take you through the sequence of events, the emergency response, the human stories behind the headlines, and the broader implications this disaster carries for road safety, freight logistics, and cross-border transport regulation. The day began as any other weekday morning, with thousands of commuters, delivery vehicles, and long-haul trucks using the N3 to get to work, transport goods, and keep South Africa's vital economy moving. The N3, stretching between Durban and Johannesburg, is one of the busiest freight routes in the country, carrying a huge volume of trucks daily, especially between the port of Durban and inland economic hubs. But at around mid-morning, what should have been a routine drive turned into a nightmare for dozens of drivers and passengers when a truck, reportedly traveling at speed, lost control in the vicinity of Peace Valley near Hammarsdale. According to preliminary reports, the truck swerved across lanes, striking multiple vehicles, including cars and smaller delivery trucks, before colliding with others traveling in the opposite direction. Eyewitnesses described scenes of sheer terror as the out-of-control truck plowed into unsuspecting vehicles. One motorist, visibly shaken when speaking to our news crew, recalled how everything happened in a split second. She said she saw the truck swaying as if the driver had lost control, and before she could react, it had already smashed into vehicles ahead. Another witness described hearing what sounded like an explosion of metal and glass as cars were crushed, spun, and forced off the road. Within minutes, chaos unfolded across both carriageways. More than a dozen vehicles were piled up, some overturned, others pinned against the barriers. Smoke and dust filled the air as panicked drivers and passengers scrambled to safety. Several people were trapped inside their vehicles, requiring the urgent assistance of paramedics and rescue workers who arrived on the scene shortly after emergency calls flooded in. Authorities moved quickly to shut down the highway in both directions, creating long tailbacks stretching for kilometers. Motorists stuck in the traffic jam reported waiting for hours with no way forward or back as emergency vehicles tried to weave through the congestion. With critics arguing that enforcement of safety standards across borders is inconsistent. Local community leaders in Hammarsdale have also weighed in, saying residents live in constant fear of truck-related accidents. They point to repeated crashes in the area, many involving fatalities, and have called for stricter controls, including weight restrictions, more visible policing, and the introduction of truck stops to prevent fatigued drivers from pushing beyond their limits. The South African National Roads Agency, SANRAL, has confirmed that engineers are assessing the road surface, barriers, and other infrastructure damaged in the crash. They have also indicated that repair work will be prioritized, but at this stage, the main focus remains on clearing the wreckage and ensuring safe passage for traffic. Tow trucks and heavy recovery vehicles have been working tirelessly to remove mangled cars and the damaged truck from the scene, but the scale of destruction means the process is slow and meticulous. Law enforcement agencies have pledged a thorough investigation. The arrested driver is expected to appear in court soon, where the exact charges against him will be announced. Police spokespersons have reiterated their commitment to transparency in the investigation, promising to release further details as evidence is gathered. They also appeal to anyone who witnessed the accident or who may have dashcam footage to come forward, as this could prove crucial in piecing together the chain of events. Meanwhile, the Department of Transport has once again urged all drivers to exercise caution, especially when traveling along the N3. They have emphasized the need for defensive driving, awareness of heavy vehicles, and strict adherence to speed limits. At the same time, officials have acknowledged the systemic issues at play, including enforcement challenges and the need for better regulation of the trucking industry. Tonight, as we reflect on the horror of this crash, we are reminded of the human cost of road accidents, for the 17 people injured, for their families, and for the countless motorists whose lives were disrupted today. This is not just a news headline, it is a life-altering event. Many will face long recoveries, financial burdens, and psychological scars. The community of Hammarsdale, too, is left grappling with yet another tragedy on its doorstep, reinforcing the urgent need for solutions to a crisis that repeats itself with alarming frequency. We will continue to follow this story closely, bringing you updates as more information becomes available about the condition of the injured, the status of the investigation, and the implications for road safety policy in South Africa. For now, the N3 near Hammarsdale remains a scene of devastation, a stark reminder of how quickly lives can be upended by a single moment of lost control on the road. Helicopter services were also deployed to airlift the critically injured to hospitals in Durban and Pietermaritzburg, underscoring the severity of the incident. By midday, emergency services had confirmed that 17 people had been injured. Some sustained minor injuries, treated on site, while others were rushed to hospital with serious trauma. Thankfully, at this stage, no fatalities have been confirmed, but doctors remain on high alert for patients whose conditions are still critical. The injuries range from broken bones and head trauma to burns sustained in smaller fires that erupted when fuel leaked from damaged vehicles. Rescue teams described a grim task as they cut through twisted metal to reach the trapped. Using hydraulic equipment, they pried open crushed doors to free victims while working against the clock to stabilize them. Witnesses on the scene applauded the tireless efforts of firefighters, paramedics, and police officers who battled for hours under difficult conditions. Amid the chaos, the driver of the truck allegedly responsible for causing the crash reportedly attempted to leave the scene. According to eyewitness accounts corroborated by police, the man, a Zambian national, was seen trying to flee on foot after abandoning his wrecked truck. Members of the public, together with police officers, pursued him, and he was later arrested. He is now in custody and will face charges related to reckless and negligent driving, as well as possible further charges once investigations are complete. Police sources have confirmed that alcohol testing and mechanical inspections of the truck are underway to determine the precise cause of the crash. Transport authorities have stressed that while it is too early to draw final conclusions, initial indications suggest the truck may have been overloaded or traveling at a speed not suitable for the steep gradients in the area. The Hammarsdale section of the N3 is notorious for heavy truck traffic and frequent accidents, making it one of the most dangerous stretches of road in the province. As news of the crash spread, relatives of those injured rushed to nearby hospitals seeking information about their loved ones. Outside one hospital, family members spoke of their anguish and confusion, describing frantic calls they received from victims stuck at the scene. One man told us his wife called him sobbing after their vehicle had been hit, her voice trembling as she described being trapped inside before rescuers managed to get her out. Another young woman recounted how her brother was on his way to work in Pietermaritzburg when his vehicle was struck. She said he is now in intensive care with multiple fractures. The incident has reignited a heated debate about truck safety on South African roads. Road safety experts point out that while the N3 is vital for trade, the high volume of trucks makes it extremely hazardous, particularly when drivers are fatigued, under pressure to meet delivery deadlines, or operating vehicles that are not roadworthy. There are also growing concerns about the number of foreign-registered trucks using South African roads. This has been a special extended news report on the multi-vehicle crash on the N3. We thank all emergency workers for their extraordinary service today, and we keep the injured and their families in our thoughts tonight. Stay with us for continuing coverage.